Brother and sister in Christ, I would like to show you, again about the rapture time frame with what happening all across the country. I know in the United States, could be in the other part of the world too, because for lacking the food supplies, they what happening in the port, people cannot deliver the food, cannot transport the food. Something I can tell this is something that government do that by design. What happening in the world, I mean, of course in the world too, and right now in America that reducing the food supplies and other supplies too, toys, merchandise for just saying for the household stuff like that could be until that stuff too. The reason this is the government do that by design to create the panic, and at the same time with this mandatory venom bite and what happening in the country, and also people strike because of that, because they don't have they cannot have the job anymore, or they get fired, or they resign, whatever for that reason, okay. And also that could be related with that too, people going to strike, that striking could be with the truck driver or the people doing that kind of work to transport that merchandise and the food to the stores. That's why some stores in the United States, they found the empty shelves, not enough food. I mean, a lot of stuff is not at the stores, you see. So and at the same time with this, of course, many of you know, that Joe Biden himself, Kamala Harris, I think Dr. Fauci too mentioned that, and some other peoples, including people in TV show or the mainstream media, and people who mention that, the people in the news, I think they could mention that too. So about this dark winter not just about the what happening with, and more to come, the people who very ill in disability and died because from this venom bite could be, and or could be they will create the power grid off, or make accused with come from the cyber attack could be. Or I heard the last time they want to create the so people cannot use the computer, like virus, and attacking the smart devices, like smartphone, laptop, iPad, desktop, whatever these electronic devices. So people cannot use it anymore. Could be that happen too. Could be this year? I don't know. We will see. And talking about this dark winter, seems like toward that direction, the empty shelves on the stores because not enough food supplies. And I will tell you with biblical evidence that what tell you how close we are for the rapture of the church event, okay? And I would like to show you this video first. Like
even though there's supply available, which is driving inflation and in turn raising prices for United States consumers. President Biden did not comment on the issues at length, nor has he offered a solution for them, the report highlighted. Earlier this year, he created a task force to tackle the issue, but so far, they are yet to present a plan to fix the issues. Meanwhile, the Federal Reserve predicted an inflation spike of 4.2%. That's well above its 2% target. American consumers, unused to empty store shelves, may need to be flexible and patient, White House officials said. A senior White House official told Reuters when asked about holiday shopping, there will be things that people can't get. At the same time, a lot of these goods are hopefully substitutable by other things. I don't think there's any real reason to be panicked, but we all feel the frustration, and there's a certain need for patience to help get through a relatively short period of time. Although they're saying that these shortages will be for a relatively short period of time, the truth is that they've been promising this crisis would be temporary for a long time. You can believe them if you want, but they've lied before, and they're doing it again now. How are Americans supposed to substitute missing products with other things? It's anyone's guess, but that story doesn't sound good. Don't let anyone mislead you into thinking that these shortages are not that big of a deal. They have been going on for months, and they've only gotten worse. Even CNN is starting to sound like a doomsday prepper. On Twitter, it recently said, if you hoped grocery stores this fall and winter would look like they did in the before times, with limitless options stretching out before you in the snack, drink, candy, and frozen food aisles, get ready for some disappointing news. Well, if we don't have enough toys for everyone this holiday season, it would be frustrating, but we would definitely survive. The problem is that many of our food products are in extremely short supply. According to data compiled by CNN, many of the country's biggest food makers are telling grocers that they will have limited quantities of a number of their products, including items such as Rice Krispies Treats, Sour Patch Kids, some Ben & Jerry's ice cream flavors, McCormick gourmet spices, and Marie Callender's pot pies, because of labor, community, and transportation constraints throttling supply chains. A myriad of problems is weighing on retail and transportation companies, which recently issued a series of downbeat earnings outlooks. Some suppliers are also urging grocers to cancel their promotions over the holidays so products won't disappear from store shelves as quickly. Major food and consumer product manufacturers being short.
In December 2008, legendary investor Whitney Tilson explained to 60 Minutes anchor Scott
of supply on some items will be a challenge in the grocery industry in the final months of the year, said Steve Howard, Vice President of Merchandising at Bristol Farms, and that's a grocery chain in California. He revealed that his suppliers are warning about shortages of foods, glass jars, and packaging containers. Recent numbers give us a hint of what is really happening at supermarkets nationwide. According to the latest data released by IRI, which tracks in-stock levels at leading U.S. grocery chains, big box stores, pharmacies, and wholesale clubs, roughly 18% of beverages, 15% of frozen foods, 16% of snacks, 15% of candy, and 18% of bakery items were out of stock at stores during the week ending on October the 3rd. So just imagine what our country is going to look like if those numbers jump to 30 or 40%. And we should keep in mind that the vast majority of the food we consume is produced right here in the United States. So we should actually have less shortages, given that the most dramatic supply chain problems involve products that need to be shipped into the country. But at this moment, this doesn't even matter anymore because at almost every link in the supply chain, there is a shortage. Some food brands have started imposing restrictions or so-called purchase caps for certain products on grocery stores and distributors, while other vendors are warning of limited availability and dwindling inventory levels. Now, these purchase limits could be particularly challenging
I just show you part of this video. If you like to see the completely full of the video, I will put the link in my description box. And the thing is, I like to show you this about the order stock, a lot of stuff, but seem look like more. I noticed frozen food first, and kind of like snack food and candy bars, stuff like that. They can make a government have attention to do that. And later on the other stuff, and some like fresh produce or meat, dairy dairy products, like milk, butter, stuff like who knows, bread. So this can create panic and people become afraid, worried, and cause the price is very high, or increasing rapidly. So the thing is, for those who watch the rapture of the church, who have the trust and faith in God alone through Jesus Christ, not to worry about that. Because this thing, the thing is a very bad situation like famine, or if had severe famine even happen, including in the United States, not just in the poorer countries, all over the world. That not happen until the rapture of the church. Let me show you the biblical evidence about that. Okay, see, the rapture of the church is very close. Could be this year, or if the Lord postpone it until next year. I hope He will not postpone it. This is getting very bad, or worse and worse and worse. I do not think later than these time frames. I'm talking about this year, or could be the latest next year. I hope not happen next year. If it happen next year, we have to wait to the Lord until He come to pick up His bride, to keep in trust in the Lord, not to worry about this demonic sauce, wicked government mandate to the people, and you afraid losing your job. And some countries already not allow people to buy the food even at the grocery store. This is talking about the food crisis, The one wicked government use for the design, design it to happen. I think they have the plan to do that. Behind that wicked government is Satanist globalists who want to reduce the population. In the certain country, I know in Europe, France, Italy, Germany, I think could be in the Netherlands too, People cannot buy the food, cannot go to the grocery store without have that venom bite or satanic sauce. Cannot do that. See? This is about tyranny from government. This is controlling that created by Satan himself. So, talking about this again, back to this, my explanation with biblical evidence, we are close to the rapture of the church. And this is also not just about pandemic, enforcing people the satanic sauce, causing millions of people already injured, get injured, very ill, and disability, and worse, death. Okay, the New World Order agenda intended to destroy the food and other necessities. Okay, the transportation to deliver that kind of that stuff, for that, and supplies to starve people to the death. Their motivation, because to reduce the population and to create that economic collapse. When they're doing that economic collapse, from New World Order, they can create their own economic plans, like one world economy using this cash without cash society with biometric currency. That's what I heard. All right, and so using that can control people. People have to use their device, their social credit, using their own body. They can do that. They get that satanic, when they take that satanic sauce, they can connect with that. That technology, using that, and with cashless, without cash society, or biometric currency. So there, when reaching that point, many people cannot afford to buy food. Not much food at the store is available. But the rapture of the church must take place first, because no such thing drinking, eating, marrying, and giving in marriage in such condition like that. In that condition like that, if that happened this year, I'm just saying, or next year, I mean, yeah, not something like that. Even much worse. In 7 years tribulation, when that thing in 7 years tribulation, no plenty food, no plenty water to drink, no plenty beverage, no people happy thing, no many parties. It doesn't matter wedding party or not, because not enough food. Food, a lot of people cannot afford to buy the food. A lot of people become unemployed, Like right now, a lot of people are unemployed anyway because that's satanic thoughts. People not have job. People have difficult time, hardship financially. Okay, so this very strong evidence. But that thing not until very very bad, the tipping point, until after the rapture, because in the Bible written itself, in Matthew 24. You see that the food is getting more less and less right now. Okay, people, you should wake up. Matthew 24, it says, okay, but as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the ark. Okay? The coming Son of Man, this is not about second coming. This is about the rapture of the church. This event during or before the rapture event. Because no such thing the abundant food, a lot of food. Water and other drinking and other beverages during 7 years tribulation. No. So when the time people still happy life, not like that during 7 years tribulation, or the time this very not much food. So right now still enough plenty food. So a lot of people still afford to buy food because the price still reasonable, even though there are a lot of people also can afford to pay even their rent and their apartment rent and just get by from the money they make. But still okay. So right now still okay. But by the time like that kind of thing, famine is so bad. It's mentioned also in thing in Revelation. I think Revelation 6. Yeah, Revelation 6. After the Antichrist appear on the scene, he's the one. Revelation 6. I think verse when the first seal open, first 1 or 2, something like that. Yeah, the Antichrist show up with riding the white horse. Yeah, kind of like Jesus Christ, imitate Jesus Christ. That Antichrist. Then getting worse. Right now still okay, even though with that mandatory thing, satanic sauce, to make appear thing worse, starting get worse. Okay. So then and knew not until the flood came, and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. The rapture of the church event too. Okay, then shall two be in the fields, the one shall be taken, and the other left. The rapture event. This is not about the after second coming. No, this is about the rapture event. People who still working, the other. Okay, the other people who working, just saying it, 2 people. The other left behind, the other one get cut off. The rapture of the church. And the other said, 2 women shall be grinding at the mill. Later on the field, people when walking around. Okay, give a wrong interpretation. The first one, the first 40, the first number 40 said, 2 shall be in the field. Talking about the people who just somewhere in the places, just saying, while they're walking on the road or just saying doing some in the house, or somewhere, one will left behind and the other get cut off in the rapture. This is about when people working. 2 women shall be grinding at the mill. The one shall be taken and the other left. The people who just working, doing something, farming or doing office work, warehousing, stuff like that. Some people left behind and the other get raptured. I bet, even Christian, the Christian, the church who get raptured only, I bet 10%, the most 10%. If you see parable of Jesus, not just parable, this is the real thing. Jesus is not talking about parable. The lepers, 10 lepers, Jesus healed them. But only one who come back later on after get healed and praise the Lord and follow him, thankful for him, who remember about him. But the rest, the one who get healed from that kind of disease, lepers, they all never come back. So kind of like this 9 of these lepers, like a lukewarm, carnal, backsliding Christian who not do follow God's commandment correctly, who do not want to repent their sin, who do not prepare for the Lord's coming, for the rapture of the church. That the rest of the 9. So the whole thing, the church Christian who get raptured only 10%, while the other 90% they will be left behind, have to endure 7 years tribulation. Mostly, churches will be left behind. And then the last word said in the verse 40, "Watch therefore, for you know not what hour your Lord that come." The rapture event. So this is about the rapture event. Alright? So this is talking about no. What hour your Lord come, because we have to watch all the time. We can know the season and the time because it mentioned in 1 Thessalonians 4, I'm pretty sure, or 1 Thessalonians 5. I think 1 Thessalonians 5. 1 Thessalonians 4 talking about the verse 16 to 17 talking about the rapture event, yeah? And the first resurrected first and then the rapture event. 1 Thessalonians 4, verse 16 to 17. And then the next chapter, 1 Thessalonians 5, talking about people have to watch for the season and the time for the day of the Lord, talking about the tribulation, 7 years tribulation. It mentioned also in the Old Testament for the day of Christ. The day of Christ, different thing. The day of Christ talking about the rapture events for church. It's not just Jesus' second coming. Jesus' second coming after 7 years tribulation is over. So this one, yeah. So you have to watch because in all over the world, yeah, we have more than 40 different time frames. These different time frames for it's 1 hour, yeah. If the people talking about it's 15 minutes, 6 half hour, 45 minutes, that even more. So each country, even in one country, they have certainly state or other areas, yeah, they have different time frame too. Whole entire world for a 1 hour differential time, we have different time frame for 40 time zones, yeah, 40 something like time zones. So see, we don't know. It depends on where we live, what country we live, what the city we live, what the state we live. So we have different time frame for the hour. That's what the Bible said. What hour your Lord come? Okay, if people, it says also in 1 Thessalonians 5, I'm pretty sure. The children of the light, they know the Lord coming, the season and the time. But the children of darkness, okay, the lukewarm carnal Christian, they do not know when the Lord's coming. They're blind because they not pay attention. They don't believe it. We are living in end time. But the true children of the light, or the born again Christian, they know the time and the season. So the Lord coming not like the thief of the night. So the Lord coming is not like the thief on the night, okay? For the true Christian watching all the time. Except for the children of the darkness. Children of darkness, both unbelievers and carnal, backsliding Christians. So this I explained you earlier, yeah? talking about the related with this, the food getting less, yeah, at the store. This is the sign we're living in the end times too. This is not just coincidence, yeah. This is the true. We are living in the end time and the season when the Lord's coming and the rapture of the church. So it's very clear, because when the time already getting very bad, then already after the rapture, Jesus already came for his church first, and then 7 years tribulation. So no such thing, abundant food, beverage or water, the drinks, or people make a lot of party, people afford to buy this stuff, after the rapture. So this have to happen, okay, after the rapture of the church, when the time very bad, the famine so bad. So this already see. So getting less and less the store. This is what we go to in that direction. Could be not happen this year, next year, but we just wait and see. Because I explained you already with biblical evidence, similar kind of like this year, yeah, could happen, because at the same time with that is mandatory venom bite, and also talking about the same time with, and the Jubilee year I explained you already, and sabbatical year like this year, and Israel become a nation again in 1948, and what happened, I explained you, according to Psalm 90 verse 10, when there is between 70 to 80 years, the 80 years, the final one, and minus 7 years, 1948 plus 80 years, that's right, 2028, and minus 7 years tribulation is 2021, this year, the rapture. And then I explained you also connected with the 4 lunar tetrads. There's so many things, kind of tied together. And then Mayan calendar, they believe the end of the world 2012. If we put backward, the 12 itself like 2021. Not because we believe the satanic paganism calendar, but could be this kind of like give the hint to us. Okay, we don't believe that satanic calendar, Mayan calendar, but similar like 12 to 21. Yeah. So the other thing, what else? Oh, I found one vision that this. I think two people are at least there, who claim they got the vision from the Lord with the sun, and the sun have the number, the sun, because Jesus Christ himself is the son of righteousness. It mentioned in the Bible. I think in the book of Micah, Jesus Christ is son of righteousness. It's representing Jesus Christ also, that sun he saw with the number, starting number 21, representing the year 2021, and the end, the sun become brightness, very bright, at the year 2028. Then by the time Jesus' second coming, if you subtract that 2028, minus 7 years, tribulation, that 2021. Similarly, show that the sun with the number written on the top of the sun, with the number 21 until the number 28 finally. This kind of like, wow, very interesting. And what happening in this world. I mentioned also already in my other video with that season, the rapture of the church, time and season related with the, what else I mentioned. What happened is mandatory stuff like that too, satanic sauce. That could be toward the direction. Alright? If the Lord postpone it, then we have to keep watching. If not happen this year, keep watching all the time. Do not get caught off guard with the stuff in the world. Nothing good in this world. The world is getting more wicked, and God can God have enough patience to us, because He loves us too much. But what happened in this world getting more wicked, God need to pour out His judgment, so to make people come back to Him and repent. He give more time, even though majority of the world will be ended up in hell, unfortunately, because Bible very clear mention the hell source destruction, the wide gate is opening more for them rather than the narrow gate for the true Christian. Alright, keep watching up until Jesus coming. Maranatha.